So next, I'm going to introduce Tyrone Tate and Barry Bosket. These guys have been working. I've been working with them ever since I got started with Keystone Shops, and which is the dispensary that I mentioned earlier. That I was part of the application team there, and I'm now part owner. But early on, we were looking for some good security people and trying to figure out how do you actually secure these things. And these guys were putting together a guard business at the same time. Actually, I think they had been doing some work in that space, in the guard space, but now they're like, okay, medical cannabis is here in PA. Maybe we can serve that industry as well. So then, since then, they've become good friends, and really pleased to have the two of them here, even coming out while they have two-a-days for Ty's football team. But Ty Tate and Barry Bosket. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Skip. Thanks for having us. As Skip alluded to, I coach high school football, so I'm working with little to no voice, so I'm going to let Barry's going to do a lot of talking. Actually, I think we're good here. No took it all. So he's a wealth of knowledge. We had the opportunity to speak with him, obviously, before we got started. And so definitely heading, if not an expert, heading into an area of being a premier advisor in this industry from what he was able to share with us. So I think we'll start with pretty much is how we got into the business, and I'll say a little piece for myself, and I'll let Barry say something. As Noah alluded to, you're going to find that people have some really personal connections in this. So, and I don't say this for a sympathetic view, but my mother, who passed away last year, I personally just feel that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is this entire country, is just getting in too late. We're so far behind for where we could be with the use of medical cannabis and the relief and the assistance it could give to the ailing. I've done a lot of research with it. Barry and I have done a lot of research on it, and I am absolutely 100% convinced of how much additional relief it would have given my mother through her years of suffering through epileptic seizures and some other issues that she had. And she, unfortunately, is not a person who obviously is going to have an opportunity to benefit from what's coming. So that was a small bit of me getting into the field. The other portion of it was Barry, who just loves to do a lot of research. We knew 3-4 years ago, we were watching Colorado, we're seeing how the trends were progressing. We knew it was coming, and so we started preparing for it. And because of that, it has made Titanium Security a premier security force in the cannabis business here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. To the degree that it's afforded us an opportunity to have some sister affiliate companies where we can now operate in New Jersey, New York, Colorado, Florida, Michigan. I'm sure I've missed some places. And West Virginia. The interesting twist is I'm a police officer, 21 years, policeman by career, major crimes detective. And so people go, well, how are you handling that? It's pretty strange, to be honest. So to transition into people now saying, well, you're not working in the drug industry. I said, no, it's medical cannabis. So it's a constant argument. And there's some really good conversations between my friends and I who understand my background. So we can talk about this in depth. How I feel about it, why we got into it, how we researched to get into it, how we position ourselves to be a premier leader in the security industry and medical marijuana. And I'll be more than happy to share that with you all. I just want to give you a little insight, a little tidbit about myself. I'm going to turn it over to Barry.
Like Ty said, 4 years ago, I started doing research. I got wind that this was coming down the pike through a couple people that I knew. So I started researching it, and because it was new, obviously it's new for everybody in this room, and I didn't know anything about it. Started researching. There were no security companies obviously in this state. We have been doing security, from private executive protections to high-end clients, to school districts, to high-end stores in the mall. We've been doing all that, but it's like, and then like talking to Noah, right? Talking to him earlier, how crime is happening in other states, Chicago and Colorado. I was listening to, reading about what was going on out there, and I'm like, okay, so they did this, they did that, they don't have this. So I try to research what security companies out west were doing, but it was a little different. Once we came east of the Mississippi, it was totally different. Out there in Colorado, there's people out there deliver stuff in their cars. There's cash laying all around. I mean, it's crazy because, as you know, this is the banks don't take your cash. So this was something that we had to study on how to perfect that. I'm not going to say perfect it, but how to provide a good service for our clients that we have, grow facilities and dispensaries. And then clients that we have got into open up their dispensaries and grow facilities and had problems with money, how we can get the money. So we started a transportation business as well, not just security. We went outside the box and try to research, talk to people in Nevada, Colorado on how they do transportation, and we found it was totally different out there than it is here in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania was challenging because there was nobody for us to turn to and say, can you help me? Jason, can you help me? Noel, can you help me? It's never been done in Pennsylvania. So every day, or every week, I should say, we're learning something different on how we can be better to provide a service for our clients that we have. As you know, April? Sometime in April, they issued, first week of April, they put out the second phase for grow facilities and dispensaries. And then I think May 16th and May 17th, they were turned in. Well, Ty and I, we happened to get our MBE certification in December of 2017, last year. That's a minority business enterprise. That opened the door for us big time. Everybody was calling. We actually had to turn away several clients for the second phase, just because we have 19 signed contracts for grow and dispensaries throughout the whole state, whether it's transportation, whether it's dispensary, whether it's grow, or whether it's everything. When I mean everything, they want, they got the grow and they want us to transport it. They want us to transport the money, the currency, and things of that nature. So we were lucky to do that. But like I said, we did turn away a lot of people. And now, unfortunately for us, we're getting phone calls and emails to go into New Jersey. And we're trying to perfect what we're doing here in Pennsylvania, because you only get one shot. We're talking to this young man right here. You only get one shot. We want to be the best. There are security companies out there they're just starting out, and they are starting to fold already. And it's a shame for these clients to have them, but I'm not going to say nobody did their research, because I don't know. But we don't want to be that security company where you bring us in and we can't produce. That makes us look bad. So we're educating ourselves every day by talking to clients from here to the West Coast and down south.
So let me briefly take you on just an in-depth ride when we say security, exactly what we mean. So I kind of gave you a little snapshot about myself and Barry, and go backwards real quick. So our relationship is that, again, 20 plus years in law enforcement, and Barry had 20 plus years in private industrial security, and someone we had each worked for on separate spectrums said, you know what, I had just retired. Barry was interested in starting a company, and they said, I kind of know somebody should go away. It went exactly that way. So I was like, whatever, I'm pretty good with my own. We sat, we had dinner, and listening to Barry talking, I'm like, man, that guy's got the gaps filled, those small little intangibles that I needed, the things that I wanted to know about private and executive security. He had them, and so it's been a really good marriage ever since. I'll put it that way. So what do we do at Titanium Security? On a daily basis, if you were to stop by our office, you're going to see us. We're consulting with clients. And so from the very first step, when someone comes in and says, hey, I've applied for a license to have a dispensary or a grow processing plant, and we know we need security, but we're not sure exactly what that means. There are state stipulations, there's mandates, there's regulations, and we say, great, we are experts. We do know them. We can tell you when you're going to go wrong, and we can tell you when you're going to go right, because we've done the research, we've had the conversations, we've sat down, and as you can say, we probably could read the book. I'm not as humble as Barry is. We're good at what we do. So we can take you from the very first time you look at a building to how you're going to go and renovate that building, the infrastructure you're going to do as far as setting in your cameras, your alarms, whether they're going to be infrared or motion, your pressure plates. We're going to take you down a road to dealing right up to your boots on the ground, as we call it, personnel, the people that show up every morning before your cannabis staff gets there to tell you if you're okay to watch the mandated time frame on the cameras, to make sure that the property is secure, to make sure that the product within inside has been kept secure according to regulations. And then there's a whole gauntlet on how that's done. And then from there, we're going to take you right into the principles in a particular business, whether it's a dispensary or grow processor. We're going to go to your house. We actually have already done this, where we come in and we can tell you where your house is vulnerable. Why? Because you're the guy, Skip, with your face in the newspaper saying that you're opening up a new marijuana place and it's expected to make a whole bunch of money. Well, now you got to be careful that someone's not following you at home at night, and that when they get home, that the integrity of your home is safe and sound. And we handle that piece as well, right up to transporting your medical cannabis product. It's anywhere in this state, as well as the cash, which is the byproduct of the industry. That's what we're good at. That's what we do. That's what makes us special. Why? You say, well, there's a lot of security companies. There just aren't. And as Barry alluded to, because in the Commonwealth it was so new. So you have some people who can watch schools, and you have some people that can watch buildings, and some people who can even watch your local pool. But to tell them that you can kind of bring that all full circle, to watch the building, to watch the product, to watch the staff that's supposed to be watching the product, as well as transporting that product. We're the premier company to put that all together. And the number of clients that we have tells us that we're pretty good at it. So that's what makes Titanium special. And as Barry alluded to, the Minority Business Enterprise certification, there's a diversity piece when you apply for your licensing, via it be dispensary or grow processing plant. And there's a diversity piece that says, hey, you're going to do so many things, but we want to make sure that there's a nice diversion in there, that you're giving everyone a shot, regardless of economic status, regardless of cultural and racial background. And so we, being really good at what we do, as well as satisfying the diversity piece with the MBE, kind of made us really attractive to a lot of people from across the country. So that's when Barry alluded to that, because it did. We already knew we were pretty special, but that really assisted us. And that's Titanium Security. That's what we do on a daily basis. So.